Hello, my name is Blossoms and welcome to another Genshin Impact video, and today we're just going to be talking about Shenhe and Yunjin, the two brand new characters coming to us here in Genshin Impact 2.4. I'm going to be giving my general thoughts on them and their kits and how good I think they are. Now, full disclaimer before we get into the video, I don't have either of these characters yet, but I've been testing them extensively in their trial dungeons and looking at some other resources online just to get a general feel of the characters, and I wanted to give you guys my first impressions overall, as they do both fulfill some specific niches and they are very good in those respective niches, but outside of them they are not all that amazing. They're pretty solid but not incredible or anything. So if those niches apply to you, then they're probably going to be a character you want, but if not, then they're not. But let's go ahead and talk about both of them. First up, we'll talk about Shenhe, and she is all about buffing other cryo units damage. Basically, she has her own specific mechanic that increases their damage based off of her attack, so she's very much so wanting a bunch of attack, but she also can increase your cryo damage bonus within her elemental bursts field, not to mention that she also decreases the enemy's cryo resistance and physical resistance with their elemental bursts as well. Then she also has this unique aspect to her to where she can buff your elemental skill and elemental burst damage if you press her E skill, or buff your normal charge and plunging attack damage if you hold her E skill. So basically she can buff any cryo unit in the game and accent their kit accordingly, which is very cool. She not only decreases the resistance but increases your cryo bonus, and then also has her own mechanic to buff your cryo damage in general. So she's an amazing cryo support character. If you main a cryo character, then Shenhe is going to be a fantastic pickup for you, especially if you main somebody like Ayaka, or if you really like Chongyun or something, or maybe you even Ganyu. She's going to be a really good pickup for her because she's just going to accent those characters very well, and she's very flexible in accenting cryo characters very well. She's also going to be amazing for those cryo comps, those dual cryo comps, which is pretty cool. She also enables a kind of mono cryo setup, which is pretty cool as well. So if that's a unique thing that applies to you, then maybe you want to pick her up as well. Pretty solid unit overall, fantastic cryo support, and she fills that niche very well. But outside of it, she's not too amazing. She doesn't deal incredible damage herself, but it's pretty all right overall. So yeah, as I said, pretty fantastic, pretty good, and if that appeals to you, then maybe you want to go for it. Otherwise, you might want to save for maybe Xiao, Zhongli, or Ganyu, as those are all going to be fantastic and better general pickups than Shenhe is herself. But overall, fantastic character, and I do like her. All right, next up is Yunjin, and this one is actually the one that I'm more excited for, as she has a very cool kit and she's a little bit more general use. She's a Geo character and she augments normal attack damage, and she augments that normal attack damage scaling with her defense, which is pretty sweet. She also has this counter mechanic similar to Beto, to where you can press or hold and get a counter off of that, but the difference is that you can just hold her E skill and still do the level 2 charged up damage that scales off of her defense, which is very cool. It just takes a little bit and then you do the damage, but if you counter the damage, then you get it as well, which is pretty cool. So you don't necessarily have to wait for them, you can just charge it up and deal that damage. So it's kind of unique in that aspect. It also doesn't have a varying cooldown, so regardless if you press or hold, you're going to get that 9-second cooldown. So unless you're trying to save time, just holding it is going to be more beneficial in general, and you get a shield while you hold it as well, which is pretty cool. But her elemental burst is the real star of the show, where it augments your normal attack damage based off of her defense and scales, and it has a duration of 12 seconds and a cooldown of 15 seconds, so only a 3-second downtime there, and a reasonable energy cost at 60. She also has a trigger quota of 30, and although that seems like a downside, you're not often going to be hitting that in the 12-second duration unless you're just hitting a ton of enemies, so it's really not that big of a deal. And then she also has this interesting aspect to her, to where depending on the different elements you have on your team, she gets an increase amount of which her defense scales the normal attack damage bonus. So yeah, she's going to be amazing for normal attacking characters like Yoimiya or you know, Razor or even Eula or something. She's going to be awesome for those characters that really want to get a bunch of normal attack damage in, and is going to be augmenting them a bunch. But she isn't going to be dealing more damage than somebody like Xingqiu or something for some team comps. But if they are a normal attack focused character, then she's going to be incredible for them. Not to mention, she does do some pretty decent crystallize, and she steps forward a bit in her elemental skill, allowing her to pick up that crystallized shield herself. So she's not a terrible archaic Petra support. So that's pretty cool, and I'm very interested in trying that out. But overall, she does support that normal attack gameplay style very well. So if you do like normal attacking with a specific character, then she's going to be an excellent character to pick up with that. I'm especially excited to try her out with Yoimiya because she does support Yoimiya very, very well, and I'm very excited to try that out. And I think it's cool that they made a Geo character that wants you to have different elements with that Geo character. So I think she's a pretty cool pickup, and since we are going to be getting a free 4-star at some point, if you don't get her on either of these two banners, then definitely pick her up, as she's going to be pretty cool. And not to mention, her constellations make her even cooler. It makes her a little bit more consistent by decreasing the cooldown on her E skill. She also has one that increases your normal attack damage in general when you cast her elemental burst. Then she also has something that increases her defense, which is pretty cool whenever you pick up like a crystallize reaction, or whenever she triggers the crystallize reaction, actually more specifically. But then her C6, I'm very excited for it, and I do want, as it is a C6 that increases your normal attack speed, which is very cool, and normal attack speed increases always feel really nice on characters. So having a character that can support that, I am very, very excited for, especially somebody like Yoimiya. It's just going to be, she's going to be popping off and firing extremely fast, and I'm very excited to try that out and see where we can take that in the future. So overall, yeah, Yunjin's pretty cool, and I do like her kit, and she does increase that normal attack damage. But outside of you know, normal attacks, if you're running a team comp mainly that doesn't really do that many normal attacks, she isn't going to be helping out your team all that much. So yeah, overall, I think both of these characters are really cool, and they fill their niches very well. If you're trying to normal attack, Yunjin is going to be an excellent character to put on that team. If you're trying to do some good cryo damage, then Shenhe is going to be an amazing character for that team. And they're both aesthetically amazing. I think they did a really good job making strong characters that aren't broken everywhere, and I think that's pretty cool. And I'm very excited to try out Yunjin at the very least, and hopefully I get Shenhe on this banner, but we'll see if I get that lucky, as I'm not, you know, shelling out for Shenhe's banner or anything. But I am very excited for Yunjin, and hopefully some Yunjin constellations, as I think she's pretty darn cool, and they're both pretty cool characters. And let me know what you guys think about these characters so far, if you're liking them, if you've gotten them, and if you're still trying to wish for them. I wish you the best of luck, as they're both pretty cool in their respective categories. But other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. My name is Blossums, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.